audience, welcome to Writers Today. Let's talk about books. Here comes yet another video and I hope you're all doing great. So today's video is about a book whose author is really famous among bookstagrammers and book talkers, and it is the topic of every discussion which goes on about romance fiction books, and the book which I'm talking about is Reminders of Him and by the very famous author Colleen Hoover. And Colleen Hoover is the best literal author who writes romance and my favorite too. I recently have discovered the author and I love her so much. The way she writes, the way she expresses everything. And you have that thing about any author that you trust too much that you buy their books without even reading their blurb. So this is an author which I trust to that level. Reminders of Him was my second Colleen Hoover book, and so far I am obsessed with the way she writes, with the way she is. So I'll just shift the whole conversation from my obsession to the book. So let's read the blurb to know more about the story. A young mother fights to earn a place in a child's life, but is there room for her? After serving 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake, Kenna returns to the town where it all went wrong, hoping to reunite with a 4-year-old daughter, but the bridges Kenna burned are proving impossible to rebuild. Everyone in the daughter's life is determined to shut Kenna out, no matter how hard she works to prove herself. The only person who hasn't closed the door on her completely is Ledger Ward, a local bar owner and one of the few remaining links to Kenna's daughter. But if anyone were to discover how Ledger is slowly becoming an important part of Kenna's life, both would risk losing the trust of everyone important to them. The two form a connection despite the pressure around them. But as their romance grows, so does the risk. Kenna must find a way to observe the mistakes of her past in order to build a future out of hope and healing. Let me tell you, if you love drama, this book is it. And not only this book, this author is it. Because the way this author writes, let me tell you that this book which we're talking about right now, Reminders of Him, it felt like a real life story was going on, like a movie was going on. It was playing in my head and I loved it so much that I can't hide my excitement right now too. And the way the author expresses how the details are, everything is just so perfect. It's like chef's kiss. And talking about the story, as I read in the blurb, Kenna is there fighting for meeting with her daughter, and everybody who is related to Kenna's daughter is against her because in her past she did something wrong. And then there is this guy Ledger, and I want to tell you who he is, but it will ruin your whole story, so I'm not giving any spoilers. Although the way they two are related, I'll say they shouldn't be together at all, and I love to give spoilers, so I'll give you a tiny bit. As we read in the blurb that Kenna was in prison. She was in prison because she was charged of murder of the father of a child. And there is a loads of connections in this book, and I was like reading it like this, like it was this close. Let me tell you, I started reading this book at 11 PM and when I thought of taking a water break, I just heard the azan go on. I'm like, wait, what? Which azan is going on? And I looked at the time. I was about to finish the book and it was 4 AM in the morning. I was like, I've been reading so long, I didn't know. And I seriously ain't joking about this one. I actually was reading for that long because this book is something which you cannot put down. It's like a drug. No, better than drugs. So Kenna is trying hard to find a job, to live in a life which was taken away from her. 5 years in prison, and there only she gave birth to her child whose face even she didn't saw. And now that child is with someone who hates the guts of Kenna. And you can imagine the situation where a mother is not being able to see her child and her child is with someone who hates her. So you can imagine what the mental trauma the woman is facing. And Kenna is there being mentally disturbed, being so worried, and then Ledger. He meets Kenna and he's like, oh my god, she's so amazing, she's the girl of my dream. What he doesn't know is that she's the same girl who he hates, who is her nightmare. She's not a dream, she's the nightmare you hate so much. And I am shouting there like an idiot, like in my head, and the story is going on and on. It was like I was saying a movie. And not even a movie, I'll say it was a situation which was going on in front of me and I was reacting to that. I'm like, no, stop, and I'm like, go. So stuff like that happened. So one thing I can assure you people is that this book won't bore you for even half a second. Like half a second. It won't bore you for it. As I was talking about the story, Ledger, he was hating Kenna for some reason, and Kenna, she also hated everybody and was scared to come back in the town, and she only came to meet her daughter, to be involved in her life, which the persons who hated Kenna weren't letting her do it. So it kinda is a messed up traumatic story, and if you like drama and trauma, this is really for you. When they say teenage mistakes affect the adult life, it surely does. Because if we look into Kenna's past, it wasn't a bad past. She didn't had an ideal parents, but she had an ideal person whom she decided to spend her life with, and this little mistake led to everything getting ruined. Like one moment she was happy, living the best life she could ever imagine, painting all her dreams with the person she is with, and then a little mistake happened, and then everything took a 180 turn, and she was 5 years in prison and had given birth at that time, had her daughter snatched away from her at that time, giving birth and everything, such traumatic things just because of a little mistake. So teenage mistakes do affect the adult life, and this is the moral, the lesson which I learned, and I'm like, okay, I have to be careful, it seems like. So that, like, Colleen Hoover, the author, is amazing, and I just realized I didn't read about the author, so I'm gonna do it now. So about the author has been given at the end of the book, which I'm gonna read. About the author, Colleen Hoover is the #1 New York Times best-selling author of several novels, including the best-selling women's fiction novel It Ends With Us and the best-selling psychological thriller Verity. She won the Goodreads Choice Award for the Best Romance 3 years in a row for Confess 2015, It Ends With Us 2016, and Without Merit 2017. Confess was adapted into a 7-episode online series in 2015. Hoover and her family founded the Bookworm Box, a bookstore and a monthly subscription service offering signed novels donated by authors. All profits are given to various charities each month to help those in need. Hoover lives in Texas with her husband and their 3 boys. Visit www.colleenhoover.com. So Colleen Hoover, a very famous author and amazing woman, as you can hear about what she does with the earnings she makes through the site. So this was the author's note, and moving on, I think Colleen Hoover is splendid, amazing. Like, literally, I don't have words for this author, and the way she writes is so smooth, so amazing that you forget that you're reading a book. It's like your friend is going through it, your family is going through it, and you are reacting to it. And if I could, I'd rate this book 1,000 stars out of 5, and my love for this particular author and this particular book is infinite. And with this, I'll end the video. So that's it for this time. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below which was your favorite part. Have you read any of the Colleen Hoover book? Also mention your favorite author. Share this video with your bookworm friends. Subscribe to my channel, and up until next time, bye bye.